Everything is about to change in New York's high society. A dinner invitation will spark a scandal. A hidden love story is at risk of being exposed. And one woman's dream of power might finally come true or fall apart in front of the city's richest eyes. Episode 8 of the Gilded Age Season 3 isn't just another chapter, it's the moment everything begins to break. If you've been watching closely, the signs have been building. But now, the secrets can no longer stay hidden. Before we jump into what Episode 8 might reveal, let's go back and remember where the storm started. Episode 7 left the Russells standing taller than ever but also more vulnerable. Bertha Russell, the fierce and ambitious new money queen, is still trying to win full acceptance into the old money world. She's not just attending parties now, she's building her own legacy through the opera war. But while she's climbing higher, so is the pressure. She invited the city's elite into her home, but not everyone smiled out of kindness. Some were just watching, waiting for her to make a mistake. Marian Brooke, on the other hand, finds herself trapped between duty and desire. Her feelings for Dashiell are growing, but so are the expectations from her powerful Aunt Agnes. Marian wants to live her own life, but in a world where women are measured by their marriages and money, love isn't always enough. In Episode 7, we saw Marian take a small step toward freedom, but every step away from Agnes could come with a heavy cost. And then there's George Russell. He's already one of the most powerful men in the country, but power always comes with enemies. Behind closed doors, rival businessmen are whispering. Some think he's expanding too fast. Some think he's becoming dangerous. His deals are bold, but boldness brings risk. George may have won the last battle, but the war over New York's future isn't over. In Episode 7, his business faced quiet resistance, and quiet enemies are often the most dangerous. Meanwhile, Peggy Scott continues to search for truth and justice. She's not just fighting for her family, she's fighting for her place in a world that's built to push her down. Her journalism has become more daring. She's asking harder questions, and not everyone is ready for her voice to be heard. Episode 7 showed us Peggy's courage, but also the dangers she faces by standing alone. By the end of Episode 7, everything felt like it was leaning forward, as if the whole city was holding its breath. You could feel the tension in every glance, every whispered line, every slow step up a staircase. And now, in Episode 8, we're not waiting anymore. The whispers are becoming shouts, the alliances are shifting, and the questions are growing louder. Who will fall? Who will rise? And what will it cost? This is where things get real. The opera war is more than music, it's about power. The love stories aren't just romantic, they're political. And the quiet dinners in golden halls? They're battlegrounds where reputations are built or destroyed. As we move into Episode 8, we're stepping into the part of the season where the Gilded Age stops being polite and starts getting brutal. Something is shifting under the surface of New York's golden world. In Episode 8, the cracks in high society are no longer hidden, they're spreading fast, and no one is truly safe. Behind the pearls, gowns, and grand staircases, real power is changing hands. Let's look at what could unfold next, and why. This episode might be one of the most explosive yet. Let's start with Bertha Russell. She's fought her way from outsider to center stage, but this time, she's not just chasing approval, she's demanding it. Her next move at the Opera House isn't just about music. It's about claiming her place at the very top. The old money elite have always looked down on her, but now, Bertha is forcing them to look her in the eye. Rumors suggest she's planning a bold public gesture, something that will embarrass her rivals and silence the whispers once and for all. But the higher she climbs, the more dangerous the fall. All it takes is one wrong guess, one scandalous moment at a dinner table, and everything she built could collapse overnight. Will Episode 8 be the moment she breaks the rules or the moment society breaks her? Then there's Marian Brooke, caught between heart and heritage. In Episode 7, she took a quiet risk with Dashiell, one that could easily turn into a scandal. Aunt Agnes doesn't believe in love without status, and Marian knows it. That's why every small glance, every secret meeting, feels like walking on ice. Episode 8 might finally bring that icy surface to a crack. Could someone see them together? Could a jealous rival or a sharp-eyed servant speak out? Marian wants freedom, But New York society never forgets and it never forgives. This episode might force her to choose the man she wants or the family that raised her. Now look at George Russell. On the surface, he's calm, focused, and ahead of every rival. But episode 8 might expose something deeper, a crack in his empire. A risky business deal is rumored to go wrong, and enemies who've stayed quiet are beginning to stir. George may believe he's too powerful to fall, but power always comes with a price. The question is, who will make him pay? And what will it cost his family? If Bertha's social climb hits trouble at the same time George faces financial heat, the Russells might not just lose position, they might lose everything. Let's not forget Peggy Scott. Her storyline is one of the show's quiet strengths, and episode 8 may push her into the spotlight. She's chasing a story that others are too scared to touch, something connected to wealth, race, and hidden pain in America's past. The deeper she digs, the more resistance she faces, even from people she once trusted. But Peggy is done playing safe. She wants truth, no matter how dark it gets. And episode 8 may finally give her that breakthrough or put her in real danger. In a world built on silence, a woman like Peggy, who dares to speak out, is a threat. And threats are often punished. This upcoming episode also hints at a few unexpected turns. Side characters who've stayed quiet for too long might finally speak up. Old friendships could snap. A forbidden relationship may be exposed. Even a new rival could arrive, someone from outside New York, someone who knows how to twist gossip into a weapon. Every scene in episode 8 feels like it will carry weight, and every word may have more meaning than it seems. And most of all, there's a feeling that someone, maybe even someone we trust, is about to be ruined. That's the genius of The Gilded Age. It shows you beauty, then pulls back the curtain. It gives you diamonds, then makes you wonder who really paid for them. In episode 8, no smile is just a smile. No party is just a celebration. And no secret stays hidden forever. The Gilded Age is a show that rarely says things out loud. But if you watch closely, it tells you everything in a glance, a gesture, or even a quiet pause between sentences. Episode 80's preview doesn't reveal much on the surface, but if you look just a little deeper, the real story begins to show. Let's break down the hidden clues, what they could mean, and the biggest theories swirling around this upcoming episode. The first clue comes from a single shot in the trailer. Bertha Russell standing at the top of a staircase, alone, with a tight grip on the railing. At first, it looks like a normal moment, but her eyes are not focused on anyone. She's staring into space, as if she's just heard something shocking or made a decision she can't take back. That moment could signal a social disaster is coming. Some fans believe this might be when she learns of George's secret business trouble, or worse, when someone she trusted publicly rejects her. Another scene shows Marian walking quickly through a hallway, clutching a letter. We don't know who wrote it, but from her expression, it's not good news. Some believe this could be a love letter from Dashiell that falls into the wrong hands. Others think it's an invitation, a forced one, to a public event where her private life may be exposed. Either way, her fast steps and worried face suggest she's running out of time to fix something before it explodes. One of the most whispered about scenes is a wide shot of a dinner table. Seated are all the major players, the Russells, the Van Ryns, and one unfamiliar figure at the far end. Who is this stranger? Some sharp-eyed fans notice this new character isn't listed in HBO's main cast. That opens the door to theory. Number 1. A mysterious guest has arrived from another city, maybe even from Europe, bringing secrets or scandal with them. This new character could shake up alliances or reveal truths the old money elite hoped would stay buried. There's also a moment in the promo where Peggy Scott is shown speaking passionately to a man in a dark coat, somewhere outdoors. No music plays in the background, which is rare for this show. The silence feels heavy. What could she be saying? Some fans believe she has uncovered something dangerous in her latest investigation, something tied to corruption or racial injustice, and this man may be the first person she confides in. Or maybe he's someone she thought she could trust, and this is the moment that trust is broken. Another mysterious hint. George Russell is seen walking alone at night, outside one of his construction sites. The lights are dim, his face is unreadable, and he's holding something in his hand, possibly a contract or even a letter. Theories here range from bold to terrifying. Could it be a warning from a rival businessman? A demand for a bribe? Or is he making a deal that will betray Bertha's efforts just to save his empire? If George acts alone, the whole Russell household could pay the price. Let's not forget the theory that's gaining speed online. A major betrayal is coming. And not just a small one. Some viewers believe Agnes Van Ryn may finally take a step too far. For seasons, she's been the strict voice of tradition. But what if, in episode 8, she does something that crosses the line? Perhaps she sends someone to spy on Marian. Maybe she makes a decision that could ruin Peggy's future. Or maybe, just maybe, she uses her power to destroy Bertha once and for all, and then there's the opera war. A tiny but powerful detail in the trailer shows a program for a performance, but the name on it isn't the one Bertha wanted to promote. Could this be a hint that someone pulled strings behind her back? Maybe her new rivals found a way to humiliate her in public. If so, the fallout at the opera might be more dramatic than the show itself. When it comes to the Gilded Age, nothing is by accident. Every dress color, every camera angle, every background sound matters. Episode 80's trailer may be short, but it speaks volumes if you know where to look. So don't blink during that quiet scene. Don't ignore the person standing in the corner. That's where the truth lives. As we move closer to the episode, fans everywhere are asking, who will fall from grace? Who will rise unexpectedly? And most importantly, who's been lying the whole time? There comes a moment in every story when the mask no longer fits, when the truth refuses to stay silent, and when even the richest rooms can't hide the cracks. Episode 8 of The Gilded Age feels like that moment. It's not just the next chapter, it's the calm before a storm that's been building for too long. Every character is standing at a turning point. For Bertha Russell, the golden doors she once dreamed of entering are now wide open, but who's standing behind them? Friends? Enemies? Or people just waiting for her to trip? Bertha has spent the entire season carefully climbing, planning, playing the game. But now, she has to face what every outsider fears. What if they never truly accept her? Episode 8 might be the episode where Bertha finally stops asking for approval and starts taking it by force. And if that happens, it won't be quiet. It will be loud, public, and unforgettable. George Russell, always the unshakable figure in business, may soon find himself standing on unstable ground. There are whispers in his world about betrayal, collapsing deals, and unseen enemies who've waited for the right moment to strike. What happens when a man who controls everything begins to lose control? Episode 8 may bring a decision that puts his entire empire at risk. And if he falls, Bertha falls with him. Power in this world is fragile. One wrong handshake, one leaked secret, and everything turns to ash. Marian Brooke is facing a different kind of battle, one of the heart. She spent too long trying to fit into a life shaped by others. Now, with a forbidden romance pulling her in one direction and family loyalty holding her in another, Episode 8 could force her hand. Will she fight for love and risk her reputation? Or will she play it safe and lose a chance at happiness? This might be the episode where Marian finally stops walking the line and chooses a side, and once she does, there's no going back, and Peggy's caught. The quiet fire of the series. She's asking questions no one wants to answer. She's searching for truth in a world built on silence. In episode 8, her courage could spark real consequences. If the story she's chasing leads to a scandal buried by powerful people, she won't be applauded. She'll be attacked. But Peggy has never been one to stay quiet. This episode might show us just how far she's willing to go for justice and just how far others will go to stop her. All across New York, the tension is real. Alliances are breaking. Secrets are turning into weapons. Every invitation, every stare, every dinner table is now a battlefield. And the question on everyone's lips isn't just who will win, but who will survive. Because in this society, one wrong step doesn't just hurt your name, it erases you completely. The opera war might not end with music. It might end with silence. A silence so sharp it cuts through diamonds and silk. Episode 8 promises more. than drama. It promises consequences. Choices will be made in private but felt in public. And before the credits roll, someone, maybe someone we've trusted, will fall from grace. So what can you expect from this episode? Expect a turn you didn't see coming. Expect a conversation that changes everything. Expect a betrayal that stings. And expect at least one moment that will make you gasp. Because this is the Gilded Age, and it never gives its riches without taking something in return. If you've been following the season, you know we're entering the part where nothing is safe. Not love, not power, not legacy. Episode 8 is where the masks fall and the true faces are revealed. Be ready, because by the time it's over, the game will be changed, and the war for New York's future will have truly begun. This isn't just another episode of the Gilded Age. Episode 8 stands on the edge of everything: love, power, wealth, reputation. It's the point where every move becomes dangerous, where even silence can destroy someone's future. We're not just watching a drama anymore, we're watching a social war in slow motion, and it's about to explode. If history has taught us anything in this show, it's this: no one stays on top forever, not even the ones wearing gold. And episode 8 feels like the moment that rule will be tested. So let's talk predictions. What is most likely to break first? The strongest bet? Bertha's carefully built social empire. She's done everything right: lavish parties, perfect guest lists, donations, even bending to the old rules just enough to earn respect. But respect doesn't mean safety. A small moment of disrespect, like an important guest canceling or a rival hostess stealing the spotlight, could rip her whole plan apart. She has more to lose than anyone, and in this episode, we might finally see her claws come out. If someone embarrasses her in public, expect her to strike back in private and hard. George Russell is another pressure point. His recent business expansion came fast, maybe too fast. He's built railroads and bank accounts, but enemies too. Quiet ones. Ones who smile in public but sharpen their knives in secret. Don't be surprised if episode 8 ends with George backed into a corner, forced to make a move he never thought he'd make. One wrong signature, one missing deal, and the Russell name could be the first domino to fall. Marian is walking directly into a personal storm. The trailer hints at her growing feelings for Dashiell, something sweet but dangerous. That's because in her world, feelings are fine until they become public. Aunt Agnes has protected Marian, but also trapped her. And if Marian dares to make a choice without permission, the fallout could be fast and brutal. There's a theory floating among fans that episode 8 could end with Marian's secret being revealed, possibly at a public event, like the opera or a dinner, and that Agnes will not stay quiet. If that happens, Marian may lose more than just love. She could lose her place in the family. Then there's Peggy Scott, the ticking clock of truth in this golden world. She's the only one who sees past the parties, the gowns, the money. She's chasing a story that doesn't just threaten reputations, it questions the entire system. The theory here? Peggy will face a line she's afraid to cross. A truth that could hurt someone close to her. Will she print it? Will she stay silent? One thing is certain. By the end of episode 8, Peggy won't be just a journalist. She'll be a target. But here's the final, boldest prediction. Someone will be publicly shamed, not whispered about, not politely excluded. We're talking about a character who will lose face in front of everyone. A dinner scene? A performance? A leaked secret? It's coming. This is the episode where the knives aren't hidden anymore. They're used carefully, beautifully, and without mercy. What does that mean for you, the viewer? It means episode 8 won't be one you can skip. This is the moment where everything changes, where the choices made in candlelit halls echo into next season, where a small mistake can destroy years of effort, and where the faces we thought we knew suddenly show their true colors. So prepare yourself. Watch the trailer again. Look closer at the background. Listen harder to every line of dialogue. Because the Gilded Age hides its biggest turns in the quietest corners. And episode 8 is where the quiet ends. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who do you think will fall? Who will rise? And which character are you secretly hoping finally gets what they deserve? If you're as hooked as we are, make sure to subscribe for our full episode 8 recap and analysis the moment it airs. Because after this episode, nothing in New York society will ever be the same again. When the Gilded Age began, It promised us more than just wealth and romance, it promised us a world where every choice mattered. And now, with episode 8 just ahead, that promise feels more real than ever. We're not just watching characters chase status or fall in love, we're watching people fight for meaning in a world that's built on masks, money, and secrets. Every main character stands at a different edge. Bertha Russell has built herself a palace, brick by brick, dress by dress, invitation by invitation. But this palace sits on a battlefield. Episode 8 could bring her greatest victory or her greatest humiliation. If she is challenged in public, we will see the real Bertha rise. Not the polite hostess, but the woman who's refused to be invisible since day one. Whether she wins or loses, this episode will define her legacy. George Russell, always calm and cold like steel, may finally face something he can't buy his way out of. He's always been 10 steps ahead of everyone, but he's made bold moves lately, and boldness can attract enemies. If someone forces him to choose between saving his business or protecting his wife's position, the consequences could shake both the Russell name and the world they rule. Marian, the innocent heart of the story, may no longer be so innocent. She's growing stronger, braver, but also more vulnerable. Love and rebellion don't always go together. In episode 8, she may be forced to say something she's held back for too long, or walk away from someone she finally admits she needs. If the people around her discover her truth, she may lose everything: her home, her family's respect, and the safe life she's always known. But maybe that's exactly what she needs to become who she truly is. And then there's Peggy Scott. Her voice is getting louder. Her writing is getting bolder. But the world isn't kind to bold women of color. She's challenging the rules, the lies, and the quiet racism that runs through every marble hallway. This episode could place her at the heart of something dangerous but also powerful. She might become the one voice in New York that no one can ignore. And that comes with both risk and purpose. This is where the beauty of the Gilded Age lives. Not just in its costumes or music or sparkling chandeliers, but in its quiet battles. In the way a single look across a dinner table can feel like a sword. In the way love, anger, ambition, and fear all live beneath silk and gold. Episode 8 promises more than plot. It promises transformation. So as we count down to the premiere, remember this: nothing will ever be the same after episode 8. Every storyline will shift, some lives will break, and some characters will finally become who they were always meant to be: heroes, villains, survivors, or legends. If you've followed the series from the beginning, you know what comes next isn't just another step forward. It's a moment of reckoning, a line crossed, a mask removed. One by one, the truths buried under pearls and politeness will be forced into the light. And once that happens, there's no turning back. Get ready for heartbreak. Get ready for revenge. Get ready for power to pass into new hands. And most importantly, don't miss what's coming. Comment below. Who do you think will rise after episode 8? And who will be ruined? Subscribe now and turn on notifications. We'll be back with the full recap, scene by scene breakdown, and hidden symbolism the second episode 8 drops on HBO Max, because in the Gilded Age, every end is just the beginning of another battle.